My name is John Niccum. I'm on the Free State Film Festival Advisory Board, and I teach in the film department at KU, among other things. Let's just give a little introduction. If you could tell us who you are and what you did on the film. Matt, start with you.
I think I'm on the wrong side, because my film was last, so I actually give it to you to move over there.
All right. Don't move.
I'm Kareen King, and this is my daughter, Kat King. And Kat directed the film, and it was a film that came because of a grant with Music to Life, and so I'm a jury artist with that, and I thought Kat would do a good job. She does a lot of videos herself.
You also wrote the script for the film, so definitely a collaboration. But yes, I'm Kat King, and I directed and edited the film.
Hi, I'm Franklyn Fantini. You watched a film about me. I was the guy the film was about. It was just me and Michael Suter, who was the director and did everything else, so I didn't touch any editing or anything. I just do the thing he made the video about, so.
Hi, my name is McInerney. I did cinematography and the editing on the film you saw, and we worked with a lot of people at the Haskell Indian Nations University here in Lawrence.
And I'm Matt Jacobson. I was co-director on Reclaiming Home, Remembering the Topeka Bottoms. I was also the cinematographer and editor on the project.
Normally my first question would be about your dog, but we'll move along. Anyone can jump in here. What was the most challenging part about bringing this film to life?
This was a 4-year project. We interviewed 40 people. We had over 100 hours worth of oral history about Bottoms from people who grew up there, who lived there. Just sorting through it. There were so many great quotes. Just coming up with something just to fill this space that we had was really difficult.
I think for our project, probably the biggest challenge was being patient, which I think is probably a challenge with a lot of films. This project took 2 years to create, and we went through a lot of archival material, but I think the real critical part was having a lot of conversations with the people in the film, people related to what has happened at Haskell with the construction of K-10 and other projects, as well as members of Rising Voices Changing Coasts, on which I am a research fellow. But it really was a very large group of people who contributed their knowledge and understanding about this topic that was critical to being able to tell the story, which took a lot of time and at times meant that the whole project didn't move as fast as we had hoped, but in the end, it's something that we can all be proud of.
The hardest part about ours was this is the second time it's shown somewhere, and I think Michael submitted it to like 50 or 60 different film festivals over the course of 2 years before it got accepted to any, and which I think just says there's just a lot of people making cool movies and interesting things out there. But that was probably the hardest for us.
Probably the hardest thing would be that it was a project that started from your vision, but it was my duty to bring it to life with my own ideas, so making sure our two visions aligned.
That mic sucks, so what we'll do is I'll give you the good mic and I'll take the terrible mic. How about that? It feels like all 4 of these movies thematically kind of shared this thing about reclaiming loss. How about you speak about that? Kat, what do you think?
I think this is better for you.
Yeah, I really wanted to tell a story to let people know how many people there are that live in the world of long-term care who are very lonely, and people literally die of loneliness. Sometimes dementia, the onset of it occurs earlier when people are very lonely. So I thought that telling the story of Emma Lou would be really probably the best angle, and for all the reasons that you saw. So,
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Reclaiming loss.
Yeah. So I like to do, in addition to this, Dollar Country also does a project where I digitize acetates, which are unique discs, and we are still basically in the infancy of recorded music. We've only been recording music for like 100 years. And so I like to remember that like these discs that I have are, if they're not the voices of ghosts already, they will be. And so before the digital era, before cassette tapes, it was very difficult to ever hear yourself on recorded music. So I try to think of like that by being a steward for these discs and being a steward for any music, we are actually like keeping these people who made this stuff alive and allowing them to like continue to speak to us, hopefully for many years to come.
Real quick, while you got the mic, I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
One of my least favorite things ever working on movies is doing music rights and budgets. I'm just curious, what was the music budget like on that?
It wasn't much because this sounds rude, I guess. So because I play music that most people don't know, it's nearly impossible to get the rights for it.
Yeah.
And if you can get the rights for it, it's relatively cheap. But in my opinion, if somebody who did something on, if one of the artists got a hold of me and was like, hey, you want some money, I would be happy because I would get to speak to them.
Right.
So it's, the one Hank Thompson song was like the one song that would require a lot of licensing. But the rest of it is, it's so rare it's nearly impossible to find it.
Sure. Very good. And then reclaiming loss, going back.
Yeah, I think the idea of reclaiming loss is very interesting in relation to the story of this film. One really important part of the whole project was in the beginning talking with Alex Kimball Williams, who was so nice to join. Thank you. But she helped me understand what the story was. Of course, you can see a very large highway that was constructed through the Haskell wetlands, and obviously that resulted in significant limitations in terms of what is able to exist on the land and how the university is able to engage with the land. However, it's not a unique story, and it's not something that just kind of cropped up out of nowhere. In reality, this is just another demonstration of the cyclical nature of history and the ways in which the relationship between indigenous people and the Haskell wetlands has been hampered or destroyed by settler colonization. And so it is a very heavy topic to speak about in the film, and there is a lot of loss, but I think that one important part of the story for me is to understand that it is a very hopeful story. And actually, this relationship has stood the test of time and has existed for thousands of years and has withstood really intense disruption. So yeah, I think loss is important, and it also, in seeing that loss, you can begin to understand what wonderful thing still exists.
The Topeka Bottoms hasn't existed as a neighborhood for 60 years. And the people who were, kicked out of that neighborhood by urban renewal, they never really had a chance to talk about what that loss meant to them. What they lost was just kind of glossed over in the idea that you'd have, this whole new urban infrastructure there. The point behind our documentary is giving those people, the last people who remember what it was like to grow up in the Topeka Bottoms, a chance to talk about what was lost, a chance to talk about what was taken from them, and really to talk about why they still come together and have these family reunions, decades later. It's because it gives them a chance to tell their stories to their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. And that's part of what we try to do with this documentary and with the accompanying art exhibition that it goes along with, is we want people to remember that there was a place called the Topeka Bottoms.
How did you first come across this story? It obviously predated you.
Yeah, Maria Velasco, my co-director and the director of the art exhibit that this was originally part of, came across a book that was written by Tom, the open and close of our documentary. And she thought that it was such an exceptionally good story and something that would work as an opportunity to show how digital information can store and can keep these memories and can help distribute them far beyond the people that, if you're talking about a memory and you just tell somebody, that's one person. If you talk to someone about what it was like to grow up in a place and then lose that place and what the rest of their lives were like, and you put that up online, that's going to be huge. And that's really what this documentary is almost a byproduct of. This is also going to be a oral history archive that's going to be kept in the Kansas History Museum and in the Topeka Library so that people can go back and watch the full, unexpurgated stories of these people and can get a chance to remember this place that, I don't know, did anybody know about the Topeka Bottoms before you came in here?
Kat and Kareen, so much of, I feel like my life these days is dealing with elderly parents. I've got a 96-year-old mother, etc. And I found talking with other people who are kind of dealing with the sense of loneliness seems more pervasive now than ever. Do you have any idea why that is?
Well, I'm your elderly mother, which I'm just kidding. I'm really at the age where I have to say, I work with older than me adults, right? But yeah, I think probably COVID, that thing really exacerbated the loneliness that's occurring, at least in the long-term care industry right now, because the staff turnover is huge, just staff shortages, loss of volunteerism. I think that's starting to come back a bit, but I think that'd be one of the main reasons, just in the last few years. And also, we're getting older. So I have a great aunt who has a book on her countertop. She's 103, and her book says, "All my friends are dead." And so, and in Anna Lou's case, she outlived all of her family, which she really never had much of a relationship with anyway. Talking about loss and recovery, for her, she just as well be dead if she didn't have friendships. So when we established that friendship, that gave her something to look forward to. She loved seeing me show up at work every day. She would say to me, I live in thought of seeing you. And so I wanted to make this documentary just to let people know how important you are. And if any of you are lonely, believe me, if you go into a nursing home and establish a relationship with somebody, you will feel much less lonely yourself. And it's so well worth the time.
Did you want to speak to that? So what is next for this documentary or for future projects? What do you got cooking?
This was you proposed this to me and I wanted to take it on. I don't know, we might submit it to more festivals as we go. We didn't really know what the plan was after making it, so we'll see.
The film is playing on August 1st at a Dallas Film Festival, and then on August 2nd in Austin, Texas. And eventually we want it to be And we want people to be able to see it whenever they can. I don't know. I'm used to music, so I don't really understand the film world, but I assume we'll put it out on YouTube or something like that. As far as Dollar Country, you can go to dollarcountry.org and see what I'm doing, and it'll still happen until I die, I imagine. So.
Will the film play in regular Virginia?
Yeah, if they wanted to. Also, I don't know if this is a good place for me to like advertise, but I'm giving a talk at KPR tomorrow morning at the Kansas Public Radio Building at 10 a.m. It's not going to be on the radio, but it is a physical presentation I'm giving about Dollar Country and about the acetates. So if you are interested in learning more, I'm going to buy donuts, and there'll be free water. So if you'd like to learn more, and feel free to talk to me or have your pizza. I like talking about it.
This film is part of a larger project. We've been able to provide compensated hands-on learning experiences to high school students, and also the digitized footage, as well as the footage that was filmed over the last 2 years, will be stored at the High School Museum and Cultural Center so that students can use it to create their own work or to study what has occurred in the wetlands. And we hope to continue screening the film around Lawrence and hosting more conversations about the high school wetlands and what's going on down there, just so that it is more front of mind for the city of Lawrence.
The version of this documentary that accompanies the art exhibit actually premiered in April at an exhibition here in Lawrence. This is actually the premiere of the version that's going to go out to different film festivals, and hopefully eventually will get picked up by at least local PBS. Because we needed to have a slightly different edit, something that, if you're in the middle of an art exhibit about the Topeka Bottoms, and you have to walk by a map of the Topeka Bottoms and an explanation of what the Topeka Bottoms is, it was much easier to just jump right into the story of these people. But we realized that for an audience coming in and watching this, as part of the festival, we had to explain what the Bottoms was first. And so, this is the premiere. We're going to do a couple little tweaks, and then we're going to hit the festival circuit.
Outstanding. Well, let's thank our guests today. Because we've got a song by Kat and Kareen, and then we'll have some pizza.
All right, so you heard the song at the end. It's called Stay, and that was the last song that Emma Lou said to me. I was with her at the evening that she died. And so I wanted to write a song that would just really convey that Emma Lou is all of us, and she represents to me to every man the need to have someone to love and to be loved, and so that's what this is about. I want to be wanted. I need to be needed. I want you to love me. I want you to stay. I long to be thought of. I dream to be dreamed of. I want you to love me. I want you to stay. So stay with me. The day with me. I hate to see you go away. I long for you. This song's for you. somebody to stay? Won't somebody think of me? Won't somebody dream of me? Won't somebody love me? Won't somebody stay? So stay with me, stay with me. I hate to see you go away. I long for you, so long for you, so long to, so stay. I had a dream, dear. You had one too. Mine is the best dream, 'cause it's